Stories have to be told or they die, and when they die, we can't remember who we are or why we're here. From Sue Monk Kidd and the Secret Life of Bees. Welcome to This Is My Story, a Lenten journey of stories from the worshiping community of Bexley United Methodist Church. I am your host, the Reverend Becky Pyatt. I pray that through our stories you may find hope, connection, peace, and joy. May God bless you on your own Lenten journey as you listen to the story for today.
My faith journey started when I was approximately, I believe, in the first grade. And my grandfather and my grandmother lived with us as I was growing up. And my grandfather made me go to church with him every Sunday. My grandmother didn't go. My grandfather didn't go. My mom or dad or brother didn't go. My grandpa made me go to church every Sunday. And I always thought at the time, why me? But over the years, as I got older, I actually thanked him for it, because it did give me a place to start with Sunday school and growing up and learning about the Bible and Jesus and all of this. And it stuck with me as I even went through high school. I went to church. And after I got out of high school, I joined the service. I got drafted. And when I was in the service, I went to church. And it was all basically from what Grandpa made me go every week, and I just thought that everybody did that, and that's not necessarily true. So even to this day, I always say a little prayer, thanks, Grandpa. But after I got back out of the service, I ran into Julia. And people that know Julia knows that I stuck around with her for an awful long time. And it was funny, the first date I went out with Julie, we went to a movie. But the second date, she says, it's Sunday, so I started going to church with her, and that was our second date. And all during our married life, we did attend church, and she was a big influence on my spiritual life. She really was, more than a lot of people would ever realize. And as it turned out, over the years, the kids started going to Sunday school, and that's good, and they still go, and their kids, and that's a good thing, and I'm very thankful about that. And I consider myself a lucky person, or a lucky man, or a lucky father, whatever you want to say. But during this time, Julia, this is later on in our lives, but she was working on at South High School, and there was a man from Nigeria, and he was a substitute teacher, and he taught physics. He couldn't teach English he couldn't talk English very good. It was bad. But anyways, Jolie heard him talk, and he was from Cincinnati, and he just was in the United States for maybe 3 months. And he ended up in Cincinnati, and he couldn't find work down there. And he just came up because somebody told him that they're always using substitutes up here. And they said that physics substitutes they needed. So he came up, and he was subbing down at South High School. Well, anyways, he called his wife, and Julia heard him calling, talking to her, and he says, I don't know if I'm going to come home tonight. I'm going to try to get a place up here because they want to use me all week. And he was thankful for the job because he needed the money. So Julia being Julia, I mean, she's got the biggest heart, had the biggest heart of anybody that I've ever known in my life. And she said, well, you could come out and stay with Dale and I. And as it turned out, he stayed the week. And the next week he came back with his family, 3 kids, and his wife. And ended up really staying with us 5 weeks. And it worked out all right. And James finally got himself a full-time position as a physics teacher at Columbus Schools. And we found him an apartment, and things were going really well for him. After he left, he was gone for about 2 weeks, and one Saturday he calls up. And he says, Uncle Dale, for some reason he always called me Uncle Dale and called Auntie Julie. He says, I'd like to talk to Auntie Julie. And I said, okay. So I hear Julia talking to him, and she says, okay, James, I'll do that, blah, blah, you know. Well, what he wanted her to do is, James told Julie that he talked to God in his dreams that night. And he woke up sweating in the evening, you know, from bed. And he said he was just sitting there and the sweat was running off of him, and God told him that Uncle Dale was in serious trouble and he had heart problems. And James should tell me to do something about it, to go see the doctor or whatever. And so he told Julia, he said, you know, if I'd have told Uncle Dale that, he'd have shrugged it off and said, yeah, I'll go. And I wouldn't have went. And he was probably correct about that. Well, anyways, you know, I thought this is kind of, you know, I really, it struck me as odd, to be honest. And it turned out that Julie called our doctor, and I went out Monday morning. She didn't waste any time. And I went in, and he got the EKG machine out. And as soon as he put it on, he goes, oops. About 30 seconds after it started, he says, just turned it off. And he said, we got to go talk to a cardiologist. And right away, I goes, wow, I couldn't believe this. So I did go see the cardiologist the same day. He got me in to see my cardiologist. And he started checking me, and he said, and they found a hole in my heart. And Dr. Stanko, that was my cardiologist, says, you know, he says, it's a good thing that you found this. And he said, you probably would have got sick, and you'd have heard of the blood wasn't pumping through my heart. It would stop right here, and it would start to gurgle. And he said, if you wouldn't have been here, came in today, it would have been maybe 6 months or 6 weeks, and you'd have died. But he said you probably would have gotten tired, and it would have came in because you'd have heard the blood building up. And as soon as he said that, he said, well, we have to schedule an operation. And I'm just sitting there thinking, wow, James did talk to God. And that took a lot of, in my part, understanding it. And it still is kind of eerie when you think about it. But I imagine that happens to all of us. We'll get a little thing and we do it, and you don't know why. But this time, James actually, he said, I did talk to God, and you should go, he told Julie to go and get that fixed right away or see about it. And I did, and ever since then, every time I see him, I just have to laugh and give him a big hug and say, you know, James, I'm here because of you and you talking to God. But I'm thankful for Julia being where she was at South, and James just happening from Nigeria, and then her telling him to come out to the house, and the whole thing. Now you think about that, I, in my mind, knew that was a God's thing, and that was part of his plan, and nobody ever changed my mind on that. And I definitely thankful. Thank you.